So here's the first stop. What we're seeing is a monument here to people who have fallen in what looks like the First World War and the Second World War from this area. Western Bulgaria was particularly affected in the Balkan Wars and the First and Second World War. This is the little village of Giginci, which is quite picturesque, I must say. I've never really been here. There is a monastery, which is not this. This is a church in the village center. I'll be driving up to the monastery in a bit. And what we see here is the Kmetstvo, which is the municipality, let's say. And here also it says, in memory of the people who fell in the wars, local people, First, Second World War, and it says, Bulgaria, for you I die, or they died. That's what it says. It's quite nice here. What we see is there a walking stick, a little bench to sit on, and a bottle that's probably for rakia, I suppose, or wine. And let me show you. So we see a walking stick, which is a bastun in Bulgarian. The bench, which is a beka, and the bottle over there, which is like a shisha. We call this a shisha here. It's quite old. And the church. All of this looking pretty nice altogether. And very old. So what we immediately see here in Giginci is old houses, and these are in a Serbian type of architecture. With these little arches and the wood, you see that in particular in Western Bulgaria, it reminds a lot of Serbia, where they have the same type of construction. It may look a little bit Ottoman as well, but they have this type of architecture in the west of Bulgaria and in Serbia in particular. Also, the white houses are quite common over here, although they are common in Bulgarian villages as well, such as Eter and Leshten, Kovacevica. The south of Serbia is full of white houses, let's say. So it's common here as well. And towns like Koprivstica have more colored houses. The resistance or the uprising type of architecture is more colored, let's say. We see it here as well. It's abandoned, obviously, or used as for animals because the grass is kind of short, so it could still be used. The houses are very old, and they are a bit taller than the typical Bulgarian houses. It means that there's a cellar or a basement. It's typically used as a workspace or to store things such as wine, rakia, and whatnot. See? And the living room is upstairs then. Interesting. Here we see quite an old bell tower, which is an open bell tower, which I've rarely seen. I guess that's not very common either, but it's made of wood and natural stones up here. And here, very interesting, we see a sort of red stone, which I rarely see as well. Red natural stone, an old wall, but it's been reconstructed. We see an old house as well. And what's particularly interesting is the wooden gate. All handmade, and you can typically judge how old it is by looking at the nails. And if they look handmade, they probably are. And then you're talking about a gate of at least 150 years old, I suppose. This is all handmade, and that's just very interesting to see. The iron, the nails, everything. Right, let's hop in the car and move on. This is the Pernik area, and people are not really fond of... well, they're not very friendly on first sight. Might be a misconception, but I guess they don't really like people filming around. Let's move on.